One good article about Swedish-made anti-tank weapons kicking Russian armored assets in Ukraine deserves another, and another. After having now penned two separate articles on the Carl Gustaf 84mm recoilless rifle, now it's time to talk about another weapons system from the same manufacturer, Saab Bofors Dynamics, best known to WWII buffs for their iconic Bofors 40mm anti-aircraft gun of WWII. That's also proving itself to be a major pain to the tank forces Russia's special military operation in Ukraine, the 84mm AT-4 anti-tank weapon. The AT-4 is a disposable, akin to the M-72 LAW rocket in that regard, man-portable, shoulder-fired recoilless gun. It's neither fish nor fowl. Not considered a rocket launcher because the explosive warhead isn't driven by a rocket motor, and not a recoilless rifle per se because the inside of the barrel is a smooth bore. The AT-4 is a little over 3 feet long. It weighs around 15 pounds. The round can travel 820 feet in 1 second. The AT-4 can penetrate 16 inches of armor. The maximum effective range is about 1,000 feet. The projectiles can be high explosive anti-tank, dual-purpose delayed penetration, high penetration, and anti-structure for urban combat. The weapon received its moniker as a double word play. 1. First of all, on the 84mm caliber of the weapon, 84 to AT-4, get it? And 2. A play on the AT abbreviation for anti-tank. The first prototypes of the AT-4 were tested in the spring of 1981, and entered into operational service with both the Swedish Army and the US Army in circa 1987, with the former dubbing it as the Pansarskott M/86, PSKOTT M/86, and the latter designating it the lightweight multi-purpose weapon M136, and replacing the aforementioned LAW rocket in the process. In addition to these two countries, at least 25 other nations' military forces have adopted it, including Iraq, Ireland, Argentina, and now Ukraine. More on this shortly. The U.S. Army first used it in combat in Panama in December 1989 during Operation Just Cause, the mission to overthrow strongman Manuel Noriega. From there, American combat troops used the weapon in the Persian Gulf War, also known as Operation Desert Storm, Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. Over 600,000 AT-4s have been built thus far. The AT-4 is meant for use by an individual soldier and, as indicated by the use of the word disposable earlier in this article, is meant to be discarded after a single firing. By contrast, the M/48 Carl Gustaf, though of the same caliber and weight as the AT-4, is intended for two-person operation, that is, gunner and loader, which allows for a rate of fire of 6 rounds per minute, though the Gustaf can also be used by a single operator in a pinch, with a concurrent reduction in the rate of fire. The multi-use Gustaf bears a unit cost of $20,000 USD, whilst the single-use AT-4 rings up a comparatively dirt cheap unit cost of $1,480.64 USD back in early July 2022. My 1945 colleague Peter Susi wrote an article describing the Swedish government's decision to send a weaponry package to Ukraine valued at around 500 million Swedish crowns, $49 million. Package deal includes 5,000 AT-4s, which tacks onto the 10,000 units of this same weapon system previously supplied by the Swedes and the additional 6,000 of them that the Biden administration earmarked for shipment to Ukraine back in March 2022. Now, as Mr. Eastwood reminds us, the AT-4 is not quite as effective against main battle tanks, MBTs. The NLAW and the Javelin are both better suited to that task, but still has plenty of utility against armored personnel carriers, APCs, plus enemy bunkers and defensive emplacements. And even in the case of the MBTs, fire enough rounds at them, and the law of probability states that sooner or later, a lucky round will find a weak spot in the armor, as was demonstrated during WWII by the sheer number of M4 Sherman tanks that were ultimately available to prevail against the thick-skinned German Tiger tanks in spite of the former tank's relatively weak 75mm main gun.